I'm going to tell you how to use the bearing cutter. It'll enable you to make repetitive shapes that follow a pre-made pattern and copy it exactly. But first, I need to show you the machine that cuts it and some similar machines called routers. I'm going to tell you about the... No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you about the bearing cutter. The cutter goes in a router and it enables you to cut repetitive shapes that follow a pre-made jig. It enables you to get a smooth edge that requires very little further finishing. But first, I need to tell you about the machine that this cutter goes in and give you a few similar examples. They're called routers. I'm going to tell you about the bearing cutter. The bearing cutter is used to copy a pre-cut pattern. It gives you a perfect finish that's exactly the same each time you use it. But first of all, I need to show you a few of the machines that it goes in, and in particular the half-inch router. But we will cover one or two other things like the CNC router and the laminate trimmer, just to give you an overview. Once you're party to this information, it'll be a little piece in the jigsaw puzzle of your quest to find that pearl of great joy. And you'll be able to go and seek it then, won't you? I'm going to tell you about the bearing cutter, which goes into a half-inch router and enables you to make many repetitive shapes like this, each being exactly the same as the first one. But first of all, in case you don't know what a router is, I'll show you the half-inch router, and I'll show you a few machines that are related to it. Not in the DNA's way, you know. I'm going to tell you about the bearing cutter. The bearing cutter is used to follow a pre-made pattern, and it can cut any number of repetitive shapes exactly I'm going to tell you about the bearing cutter. We use it to make this sort of thing. But first, in case you don't know what a router is, which is what the cutter goes into, I'm going to show you a few, and I'm going to show you how to use the bearing cutter. Now the bearing cutter goes into, in this case, a half-inch router, and it's used to make repetitive patterns like this one as well. But first, just in case you don't know what a router is, we'll have a look at a few examples and a few of the processes that it involves. I'm going to show you how to use the bearing cutter. Now the bearing cutter is used to make repetitive shapes like these from a pre-made jig. It goes into the half-inch router. I'll show you a few other examples of routers so you know where we're coming from.